Hey everyone, welcome back. So I'm about to watch the What If episode, season 1, episode 2, which is entitled What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord. This is one of the episodes that is Chadwick Boseman's, one of his last roles that he recorded prior to his death. So I don't really have too much to say here, but I'm gonna check it out. Wow. Well, I just finished episode 2. T'Challa became Star-Lord. Um, you know, it was great hearing Chadwick Boseman's voice again. Playing the role, you could tell that he really loved what he was doing, but I have my notes here. So one thing that kind of came across in my head, just in terms of how advanced Wakanda is, and it got answered later, but in general in the MCU, with Wakanda being so advanced and having such technology and, they're just more advanced than, modern day civilization that we know. Have they gone to space? Do they know, have they ventured into space as we've seen them in the MCU? Because like they said, they don't want to share all their technology and secrets and things they've learned because the rest of society is not ready. So it made me kind of think, have they gone out there already before? One thing I would say is that T'Challa is a lot more tech savvy than Peter Quill was, much more efficient at being actual Star-Lord. One thing that kind of stood out to me in this episode, and I'd have to go back and watch the other ones before. Uatu the Watcher was kind of blended into the clouds in the sky because he's watching everything. It makes me wonder, has he been sprinkled in between the other ones that I've seen in the sky or in the background? I really didn't notice, so that's something I would want to go back and look at. I wondered, with T'Challa being gone, what Wakanda became, and then they initially said that it was destroyed, which in my head I was like, who the hell could do that? Who could destroy Wakanda? But then we learned later on that it was Yondu being Yondu, not telling the truth. Thanos being a friend kind of threw me off. Talked out of his whole genocide plan, and finding another way to help the world, which is interesting. And Nebula's blonde hair, maybe it's Maybelline, I don't know, whatever. But essentially, Nebula's there, has a good relationship with T'Challa, calls him Cha-Cha, which is a little different. I was like, ooh, Cha-Cha, that's a little quirky there, which is fine. I think T'Challa actually lives up to the name Star-Lord, just through the interactions that he had with the characters. He seems to be well known, but in an actual positive way. Like Korath in MCU wasn't like, who? When Peter Quill said, I'm Star-Lord, who? He's like, you're the Star-Lord. He was fanboying hard. But, he earns it. He worked his way across the galaxy, helping people, making a difference, which is nice because I think in some regards that's what he wanted to do as a child, as we saw in this What If episode. He wanted to go out there, he wanted to help those around him and make a difference. He then comes across a ship, a Wakandan ship, because his necklace starts to glow, because all the Wakandan tech is linked up. So it seems as though space exploration became a thing for the Wakandan people once they felt he was missing. We learned Wakanda is still around, which only makes sense to me. One thing that I appreciated about this episode was the Wakandan music that would play throughout the episode. It just brought me back to the moments in Civil War, but also the Black Panther movie, and also honestly any other time. Black Panther, the Dora Milaje were on screen, or anybody from Wakanda was on screen, really bring me back to their vibes throughout all their appearances in the shows. But it was just, again, really nice to be able to hear Chadwick Boseman in this role. Awesome to see him interacting with characters in this medium, just because we won't necessarily be able to hear Chadwick interact with these characters again. Not sure what Disney is looking to do, Disney Marvel is looking to do with Black Panther moving forward. That's something that we're going to have to see in Black Panther 2. The episode ends with, Peter working at like a burger joint and Ego shows up, so that will be kind of interesting because I think this version of Peter Quill will be more inclined to follow his birth father Ego, because he never had that family. There's not going to be a he may be your daddy moment that Yondu will have. There's no I'm Mary Poppins y'all moment, he may be your daddy, but I'm your father. There won't be that kind of a moment for this version of Peter Quill, so I feel he would go in line and follow what Ego would want to have happen. So that will be interesting in a future, maybe season 2, or maybe later in the season of this show, something like that does come up. But the ending of the episode kind of did it best. This episode is dedicated to our friend, our inspiration, our hero, Chadwick Boseman. And as Chadwick himself said in the episode, I am forever in your debt.